English 1, Chapter 3, Water, Water Everywhere, Part 2. Now, moving ahead to activity 5 to the next page, there is a small activity which is given. Read your sentence to the class, listen to the classmate and read their sentences. Now the sentences that they were talking is about this, what Vijay will do. Okay, now what they are asking you, keep count of how many sentences describe Vijay using water wisely and how many sentences describe Vijay using water wastefully. Now we cannot do this as it's a group activity, but just below in this box, can you see number of sentences with a wise use of water and number of sentences with a wasteful use of water? Now what we will do, we will write this thing in our notebook. How we will be writing number of sentences with a wise use of water? So we will be writing 4 to 5 points about how we can use the water wisely, and 4 to 5 points sentences with a wasteful use of water, how people waste the water. Okay, we will do this activity in the notebook. We will be writing it in the notebook. I will be sending you the PDF. I will be writing 4 points of wise use of water and wasteful use of water. I expect that you people write 2 points on your own. Okay, so total we would have 6 points. So 4 points I will be sending to you, 2 points you will be writing it on your own. So this is the notebook activity, and the questions that are given below, these are all the questions related to it. Count the number of wise water, count the number of the wasteful idea of the water. Okay, who has given the wasteful idea of the water, who has given the useful idea of the water, all these things. Okay, so moving ahead, coming down, so these questions we will not respond, we will only write about number of sentences with the wise use of water and number of sentences with the wasteful use of water. 4 I will be giving you in the PDF and 2 you have to write it on your own. Now we will move ahead and we will come down. Okay, put your ideas and the answers to these questions in the paragraph below to help you describe the result of this activity of your class. Read your paragraph out at a loud to a classmate. Now what they are expecting, that based on this they have given this activity. The activity I will be sending you in the PDF. Right now I am reading it for you. Based on the above activity that we have done, in my class more students describe wiser way of using water. Now in this first blank comes the wiser way, because we have discussed 2 to 3 points where we can use water wisely. Wiser way of using water, then wasteful ways. Okay, we have also thought how we have also talked about how people waste the water. So we are more inclined towards the wiser ways of using water than the wasteful ways. My classmate named, now we have not discussed in the classmate, so you can write the name of any of your friend that you want to write, gave an example of wise use of water, and what was his, you can imagine this. Okay, that what wiser use of water he has given. And my classmate named dash gave an example of wasteful use of water. So what was the wasteful use of water, what was the wiser use of water? Okay, I describe a wise use of water was to, now here there is the mistake, I describe a dash wise use of, here will not come, here it will not come was, it will come wiser use of water was. Now then you have to give the wiser way. Now this activity we are going to discuss in the interactive session of ours, which will take place for this chapter, so that we'll see who is giving the wiser way. So you can write the name rather than imagining, we will do it in the interactive session of ours and then you do it. Do you understand? You have to write the name of the classmate who is given the wiser idea, and you have to write the idea. Okay, you have to give the name of the classmate who has given the wasteful way of of water, and you have to write his idea. So we will do it in the interactive session, but for as of now I have given you the idea. Now we will move ahead to Mary Oliver poem that they have talked about, and this is activity 6. So we'll read the poem. At Blackwater Pond, the toast waters have settled after a night of rain. I dip my cupped hand, I drink a long time. It tastes like stone leaves fire. It falls cold into my body, walking the bones. I hear them deep inside me, whispering, "Oh, what is that beautiful thing that just happened?" Now she is saying that the backwater pond where the water is been settled, she has drank that water with the cup, like this cup hand, and she is saying when she tasted that water, it tasted like stone, leaves and fire. Everything is a combination of that water, and it she felt very cold in her body, and that coldness of the water has entered to her bones. That's what how she is describing her feeling. And then she whispered to herself. Whispered means to say something in someone's ear, but she has whispered it to herself and thinking, this is just a beautiful experience that had happened to me when I have drank that water. This is what Mary Oliver has been described in her poem. Now her poem looks like a mixture of lot of sentences in itself. There is hardly any rhyming words in her poem, but few poems are written like this also, which is a mixture of lot of sentences in itself. So let's move to activity 7. Look carefully at Oliver's poem at Blackwater Pond to answer these questions. The title, A Blackwater Pond, at a Blackwater Pond, tells us that the poet is at a certain place. They have given one example. Use at to write a sentence telling where you are now. So in this poem, the name at Blackwater Pond, they want us to use at and make sentences out of it. So I am at my home right now. My friend is at my place. Okay, this is the sentences that I am creating for myself. I'll be at school at 12 a.m. Okay, no, sorry, p.m. Then you call me at your place. Okay, so these are the few sentences that we have made. You make one for yourself and write it over here. Next, the poem says, I dip my cupped hand, I drink a long time, it tastes like stone leaves fire. Now the question that they are asking us, what tastes like stone leaves and water? So the water tastes like stone leaves and fire. So the water taste. They are asking, what tastes like stone leaves and fire? So answer is the water itself tastes like stone leaves and fire. Next, the poem says it fall. So moving ahead, next, the poem says, it falls cold into my body, waking the bones. I hear them deep inside me, whispering. What wakes up in the poem and what do they say when they wake up? So basically they are asking us the meaning of these lines that has been explained by the poet herself. So bones wake up in the poem, and on waking up they say, what is that beautiful thing that just happened? So this is the answer to this question. I will be giving the PDFs of it, stating that activity 6, page number 25. I will be only giving the answers, answer 1, answer 2, answer 3, answer 4, in this way. So there are total 1, 2, 3 answers that I need to give you, because the use of at, you will be doing it on your own of the first question. Okay, so the when the bones wake up, according to the explanation of the poem, when the bones wake up and the poet whisper with herself and questioning herself, what is this beautiful thing that just has happened to me? Okay, moving next. Full stop, period and question mark tells us when we are at the end of the sentence. How many sentences does at a Blackwater Pond have? So they are asking us the question that when we use full stop, that means it's the end of the sentence. So how many sentences are being used in the poem where there is a end at the full stop? So if we see in the poem, then there are 6 sentences in the poem which is having full stop in the end, and they says that it's an end of the poem. See, first, at a Blackwater Pond, the toast waters have settled after a night of the rain. First one. I dip my cupped hand. Second. I drink a long time. Third. It tastes like stone leaves fire. Full stop means fourth. It falls cold into my body, walking the bone. Fifth. I hear them deep inside me whispering, oh, what is this beautiful thing that just happened? 6. So total 6 sentences are there. Okay. Now we'll move to the last question. Comma tells us when a sentence has more than one part. Which sentence in the poem have more than one part? So I think there are 2 to 3 such. Let's see. So when comma is there in one sentence, there are 2 parts. So what I can see, we can start it. It tastes like stone leaves fire. So there are comma. So there are parts in this sentence. So this is 1. It falls cold into my body, comma, walk the bone. So it is 2. I hear them deep inside me, comma, whispering, oh, what is that beautiful thing that just happened? So there are 3 such sentences which are there in the poem which has a comma in it. So there are more than one part in the sentence. So these are the answers. Now we will move to the next activity, activity 8. So this entire activity is the way Oliver has created this poem in the form of small sentences and in small lines. In this activity they are expecting that you should also write one such poem and then share it with your classmate in the school. So this is your homework, and I will not able to give you answer key because they are expecting you to write this poem. Okay, so try writing a poem on your own, and we'll listen to 1 or 2 poems, the one you have created in our interactive session. So basically this activity we will be doing in the interactive session, and the one which is given on the page number, what is this page number? 24. This one, these 2 activities we will be taking in the interactive session. So if you have any doubt, we can clear it, and I request you to create at least small poem of 1 or 2 lines. We'll move to the last activity, activity 9. Okay, so this is activity 9, water, water everywhere. Okay, let me have my textbook. So now let's read and understand what it wants to say. How much water is there on the earth? This is a question. So it starts with a question. How much water is there on the earth? There's a lot. Something like 1, 2, 6. Oh my, this number is such a big number that it's difficult for me to read, and even such number exists. So this much amount of water is there. Liters can be found on our planet. So this much amount of water can be found on our planet. This water is in a constant cycle. Now on the first page of this chapter we have seen the water cycle. So they are saying the amount which has been found on the earth into this much amount of liters, it is constantly is into a cycle. It evaporates from the ocean, travels through the air, rain down on the land, and then flows back to the ocean. So this is the cycle: evaporation, precipitation, condensation. You would all have come across this vocabulary in science. No? It's a part of a water cycle. So all these things that takes place. The oceans are huge. Most of the earth is covered in ocean. 98% of water on the planet is in the oceans, and therefore is undrinkable because of salt. Now these oceans are huge, and they are saying 98% of the water which is there on the planet is in the ocean, but it is not a drinkable water, it is not edible water because it has a salt into it. Only 2% of the planet's water is fresh, but 1.6% of planet's fresh water is locked up in a polar ice cap and glaciers. Now they are saying out of that 2% of the fresh water which is there, the out of that 1.6% of a water is in the form of glaciers. Glaciers is a so the glaciers are a large mass of ice which moves slowly. So these are the glaciers. And so the half of the water, 1.6% of the planet's fresh water is into a glaciers. Another 0.36% is underground in the well. So whatever water is there now, that is also an underground in the form of underground water which we get through well or through boring pumps. About 0.03% water of the planet's total water supply is found in fresh lakes and rivers. So this 2% of water is so divided. 2% of water is divided 1.16%. 1.6% of planet's fresh water is divided into glacier. 0.6% is in the wells, underground water. 0.06 in the form of fresh lakes and rivers. So the small percentage in lakes and rivers is still many trillions of liters, but it's a very small amount compared to all the water in the whole world. So though there is a trillions of water which is there in the lakes and rivers, but if we compare this entire water into a numbers, then this is a very very tiny part which we have in the lakes and rivers as a fresh water. The rest of the water on the planet, that is 0.004%, is either floating in the air as a cloud and water vapor, or is locked up in the plants and animals. So they are saying, so whatever amount of 0.004% of water which is left, it is either into the air or in plants or in animals. That means if we weight 30 kilogram, so 19.5 kilogram of U is a water. So if my weight is 30 kilograms, then out of that 19.5 kilogram is the weight of the water that my body is having right now. Okay. Activity 10, the text. Water everywhere has a lot of number. That's true. Sometimes numbers are easier to understand in the graphs or chart. That is also very true. So many numbers, it becomes very confusing. So it becomes very easy if we study such numbers into a form of graphs or chart. A pie chart is a circle divided into parts like a pizza pie. Okay. How many parts does the pizza have? Which part shows one half of the pizza? So now they have given the picture of the pizza over here, and they are asking us that it's very easy to understand the pie chart, and this pizza, they have converted this pizza into a pie chart, and they are asking how many parts are there in this pizza. So the first answer is there are 4 parts of the pizza, and the next question that they are asking, which part shows one half of the pizza? So the upper part is showing one half of the pizza. So now see how they have connected this pizza pie and pie chart too. Okay. Pie chart shows the size of each part of the whole pie. How many parts does the pie chart below have? Notice 2 of the parts are very very small. So now they have given here the pie chart of the water that they have described into the earlier paragraph, and they are saying there are two parts which are very very small in nature. So this entire water blue portion that we are able to see is the underground water. Red mark, the red line that we can see, a red piece that we can see very clearly is of a lake and the reservoirs that we have, and the green is a very thin one is of the ocean, and the yellow is the rarest that I can see here right now is of people, animal and plant, and the black one that we have is of the glaciers and the polar ice caps. So if we see this entire para that they have tried to explain us over here, the amount of water that we have on the planet, they have explained us with this pie chart. So if we see this and try to understand into the figures that they have given to us earlier, this underground water is 0.36%, then this lakes and the reservoirs that we have is 0.036%, this ocean is 98%, and this glaciers and polar ice caps is 1.6%, and people, animal and plants that is there is 0.004%, right? So this they have explained. So here we end the chapter, and I'll be sending you the PDF and I'll be sending you the video. I expect you people to go through the video 2 to 3 times, okay? And if you have any questions and any doubt, I request you all to ask me in the interactive sessions. There are 2 activities that we are going to solve in the interactive session. I have explained them over here in the video, and thank you. Okay, so go through the video.